Welcome back to another episode of Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, what's up?
Derek, we traveled again, per usual, like we always do for interviews, but I'm excited for this one. We're sitting with a new friend who's got a incredible travel history, so we should probably start with introductions, and we'll go from there. What's up, man?
Not much. How are you guys?
Very good.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, first of all, who are you? Who do you represent? Where are we? Like, what are we doing?
Okay.
And then we'll dive into your extensive history.
Yeah, sounds good. My name's Joe Powers. We're here at the restaurant Jay's Artisan Pizza here in Kenmore. We do Neopolitan pizza, Detroit-style pizza. I'm from Lancaster, New York, not too far away, 22 years old. I just love making pizzas.
Hell yeah. Love it. I love pizza, man. Pizza is my entire life. So, what did the name come from? Jay's Artisan Pizza. What is that? Because your name isn't Jay.
No, my name's not Jay. I acquired the business from Jay, the original owner. What is it? January now? A couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, in November. So it was pretty much his name, and we just try to make not artisanal pizza, but just a little bit elevated, I guess you would say. We're not trying to be snobs or anything like that, you know. We're just trying to put out a quality product for people who like to eat pizza, and we know, living in Buffalo, people love pizza.
Yeah. So did you always want to get into pizza?
I did not, you know. It came really out of nowhere. I started working here the day that the restaurant opened, probably 3.5 to 4 years ago. I started working at the counter just as a part-time job. I thought of this as like, yeah, you know, work here a couple months, like just some money to make for college, you know, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden the wheels started turning. I would watch Jay make pizzas, and I would slowly, you know, at the end of the night, I'd go and make one pizza, and it'd be like, oh, this is cool. Like, you could actually make something with your hands, and it comes out, and then you could eat it. Like, that's kind of cool. So I guess I did not know that I was going to get into pizza, but I love it now.
Did you go to school for any type of food industry at all?
So I went to Naples, Italy, so that's pretty much, we do Neapolitan pizza. That's where pizza started, you know, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. There's
a specific way that you make a Neapolitan pizza, so there's an associated with that, called the VPN school. It's right in Naples. I went for 14 days. It's pretty much a boot camp, you know, crash course, 14 days. You're in the lab from 10 a.m. to 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You're making pizzas, you're stretching them, you're learning about the history of Neapolitan pizzas, about the oven, the ingredients, so pretty much everything. I went in May of 2019. So I've been doing this for about a year and a half. 2 years, I guess now 2 years. It's 2021 now, but whatever. Right. It's a year and a half.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Wild. So when you came back, you had probably the most motivation in your entire life to make pizza.
Oh my God, it was insane. Like, when the day the school ended, it ended on a Wednesday, and I still had Thursday and Friday before my flight home. And
you just started eating.
I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home. Like, I cannot wait to get home. Like, that flight from Naples to home. Well, I flew from Naples to Germany and then to Canada just because it was, you know, cheaper.
That's life.
Yeah.
Right.
And that 9.5 to 10 hour flight from Germany to Canada was like, oh my God, like, this needs to end. I need to get home. And I went from the Canadian airport in Toronto straight here. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, like, they were texting me, you know, Jay and Joe and all the guys that still work here. They were texting me like, oh, how is it? Like, where'd you go? And whatnot to eat pizza. And I'm like, I cannot wait to get back here and make pizzas. I got back on the Friday. I was here on Saturday doing it. So it's pretty much been since then that I've been doing it.
So can you explain to people, before we go too far down the rabbit hole, what the Naples-inspired pizza is compared to what they see normally around this area?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So in Naples, it's pretty much an oven that is cooking at 900 degrees. It has a very soft floor, if that makes any sense. So the floor is very soft. The pizza is not crispy. That is the thing that people get really wrong around here, is that because you're cooking at 900 degrees, people automatically think that it's going to be crispy, and it's not. It's a very soft pizza, so it's a 12-inch pizza. It's very soft, and you're pressing it out. So you're pressing it out, and then you're making a crust, which they call a cornicione, in Italy. So you're making a crust and then you're making the pizza onto it, and it's cooking in the oven so fast, and you could pretty much take it from the oven, out of the oven, and eat it right away because it's cooking for about a minute, maybe.
Really?
At 900 degrees, it's cooking like that, and then it's going to be done. You take it out, it's finished.
So, okay, that brings up a very interesting point because I didn't know that, to be honest. There are a ton of pizzerias in the area that specialize in what they specialize in,
Right.
but a lot of them have the very crunchy crust or like a thin crust. So
Right.
there is a difference between the Naples style pizza and like thin crust and flatbreads or whatever.
Definitely. So if I could summarize what I just said, a Neapolitan pizza is a 12-inch pizza. It's very soft. The textures that you get is kind of like a pita, almost like that.
Gotcha.
It's soft. It's going to be watery, which people are not keen of around here. They're like, ooh, like water, soggy pizza, but that's just what it is.
Sure.
You normally eat a Neapolitan pizza with a fork and knife. They don't cut it. It's a 12-inch. It comes on a special plate that's made only for Neapolitan pizza, and you eat it with a fork and knife because it's meant to be eaten like from the in out. You take the crust and then you mop up, the mozzarella, oil, sauce, and that you get when you're finishing it.
So, okay. There's so much to go over.
It's a lot.
So when you first got back on that Saturday,
Yep.
and you're like, I know what I'm doing because I've just crushed it for the last 2 weeks. Like,
Right.
let me show you what we did. And then you look around and you don't have like 80% of what you need per se. Like the ingredients were slightly different. Some of the equipment was slightly different. And you're like, well, this isn't exactly what I'm used to in Italy because it was Italy. So how can I modify what I know to actually do it the way that it's supposed to be so it's not a disservice?
Right. No. And here we did a really great job of getting similar ingredients. You're not going to have the freshness of what you can get in Italy. And things like a buffalo mozzarella, yeah, we can get a buffalo mozzarella flown in overnight, but that comes with a cost. And people in Buffalo necessarily don't understand the difference between fresh mozzarella and buffalo mozzarella. So sometimes it's like you got to pick and choose what you're going to use. But when I got back, our old oven was a Stefanaro Ferraro, which is handmade, third generation guy who's been building ovens. So our old oven was from Italy. This one of the same ovens I was using at the pizza school. The equipment with our peel and our turning peel, the same exact thing. You make it on a countertop, pretty much like like granite, something like that. And our techniques were pretty much the same. I pretty much went to Naples just to refine, I guess, the technique, because it's a weird technique. If you've never seen someone make a Neapolitan pizza, it's like that's really weird. It's not like any other pizza.
Sure. So did Jay study in Italy, or how did he bring that to Buffalo?
Jay, he worked with there's a pizzeria in New York City called Don Antonio. He was kind of
I thought you were going to say Sbarro at one point.
No, Don Antonio. He's pretty much the originator of Neapolitan pizza in the U.S. So he brought it from Naples to the U.S. He has his own school. That's the AVPN school in New York. I went to the VPN school in Naples. So he was taught by, his name's Roberto Capuccio. He has his own school. He has a couple pizzerias in New York, actually.
He sounds super Irish.
Roberto Capuccio, yeah, definitely not Italian. No.
So
Sweet.
So you had the correct equipment here. You just went there to refine your skills.
Pretty much, yeah,
Okay.
because that experience was priceless. No matter what I paid, it was priceless. I'm
Literally.
making hundreds of pizzas a day, working on the technique, working on how to cook it. I had a little bit of a head start compared to what some of the people had that were there, because I was like in between. So I'd like work up front, and then I would work on the line on slow nights. So I kind of had an idea of what to do. Going there just pretty much was like just refining what I needed to work on.
Sure. So you said that you were a part of this from the beginning, basically, when Jay opened this.
Yep.
Did you like Buffalo style pizza before starting here, and this job made you acquire that taste, or did you always like this more of a different style pizza?
No, I had no idea what Neapolitan pizza was. I couldn't pronounce half of the ingredients that we use on the pizza. I had no idea where anything came from, whether it's like Nduja. I had no idea what that was. It's like a spicy spreadable salami type thing. It's probably something that you might have never seen before. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, it was like, oh, I'll just go in there, work a couple days, part-time job, just something to make a little bit money. And then once I saw the passion that Jay had for it, it like rubbed off on me. So it's like, oh wow, this is actually kind of cool. And then I would start after service, and when I would get home, where is this from? Like, where are we getting that from? And just like learning about the different ingredients is so key in learning where it comes from, if it's responsibly sourced, if the farmers are responsible, just stuff like that.
So where are you getting your stuff from?
So we have a specialty. He's a purveyor. He's a really close friend. I've known him since I started here. His name's Italo Bessaghini.
Again, another Irishman.
Yeah, another Irishman. He has his own import company, but is a special consultant for Latina foods. He's Spriana Imports is his company. The town that he grew up in is Spriana. Pretty much almost as North Italy that you can get. It's pretty much on the Switzerland border. We pretty much get everything from him, and I feel bad when we get purveyors from around the area that come in and they're like, yeah, I could sell you this or that. I'm like, I'm sorry, we just, like, it's like, Italo, I need a different mozzarella. It's like, okay, I got this, I can get you this, and that. It's just like, just things that he does for us that is also priceless. And, and just no one else can get it because he's the one that brought it here in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, us Italians, you have to stick to your word. If you start breaking that, he's going to tie cinder blocks over your legs.
I know, yeah. It
drop
might be
you down.
Yeah, maybe in the Buffalo River or something.
I tried swimming with the fishes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is really sweet.
Yeah.
So, outside of pizzas, what else do you guys offer? Because I don't want somebody to randomly assume, like, well, it's a pizza place. Like, they got to do subs and tacos and wraps and everything else that comes with a pizzeria, when in reality...
It's not. Yeah, it's very unique. Just the way the restaurant looks, and I don't know how you would explain it. It's like fast casual. So if you wanted to come in and get a pizza, you could be in and out in 15 minutes. That's just how fast it goes. Or you could come in here with your family of 4 on a Friday or Saturday night, and you could have a nice dinner, but not feel like you have. It's not stuffy. It's very relaxed. Regular people that come in, it's like, hey, what's going? How are you, Sergio? How's it going? It's more than I think a lot of restaurants around here. You order at the counter, and then we serve you. You can order your drink at the counter, you get your silverware and your plate at the counter, but then we serve you and then clean up for you. So it's a little bit different. And to answer your question, we really focus on the pizzas here. So it's Neapolitan pizza, which there's, 3-6. We have 9 choices normally. And then for square pizzas, which is Detroit style, completely different than Neapolitan pizzas, we have 4 to 5 on the menu at each time. And then a couple salads and small plates that we like to throw on every once in a while. If we could get something seasonally, we'll roll with that. But we don't do wings, tacos, subs. We don't even have a fryer in here, actually. We don't even have a range or anything. We have a single induction burner. But other than that, we don't do anything like that.
So you have Neapolitan pizza and you have Detroit style pizza.
Yeah.
They're both extremely different. So how did the Detroit style get brought into the Italian Neapolitan pizzeria? Yeah,
so Jay and we would just fool around with it. It probably started 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was just like, we were just going to try it, if we saw a regular that would come in, we'd be like, hey, you want to try out this pizza, see what you like, or see if you like it. And it just turned into a monster. We would do it on Wednesday night, we would do it on Saturday afternoon, and I think we would only even do 3 options at the time. So we would do like a red top, which is a traditional Detroit style pizza. It's the cheese blend, it's pepperoni, and then sauce. That's like a traditional Detroit style red top. And then we do 3 other ones, like funky ones. And people would come in, and it would be 3:30. We open at 4, and I would look outside. There'd be 5 or 6 people standing outside before we even open that are coming in to get squares, because we'd only do 30 of them at the time because we didn't know if people would like them or not. Well, obviously that kind of tells the story.
They liked them.
Yeah, they liked them a lot.
So can you describe the differences between New York, Buffalo, Chicago, and Detroit pizzas? Like, what is a Detroit pizza for those that only have one idea of what a pizza is?
Sure. So a Detroit style pizza is made in an 8x10 pan. So it's like it's going to be really thick, but also airy. The key part about it is having the cheese blend around the corners of the pan, because then it melts and caramelizes. A New York style is just going to be like a slice.
Yeah.
I've never had Chicago style pizza, but that's like a deep dish. It's different than Detroit style.
Yeah, because Chicago's more like a pie.
Yeah, it's more
in regards to a deep dish.
Yeah,
it's an actual like pie pizza.
Yeah.
Deep dish, and then Detroit, you're saying, is similar to that, but it's almost like a Sicilian, where it's like a real thick piece and it's a square.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of similar to Buffalo style pizza, just thicker, more air in the crust, I guess you can say, because Buffalo style pizza is made on like a sheet, like a seasoned sheet, so it's a little bit, it's different. I think Detroit style pizza is better than Buffalo style pizza. I probably just like disappointed like a bunch of people, but that's just the way it
Literally
is.
no one else is going to watch from here on out.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, it's all up to the person. So that being said, we've interviewed Sexy Slices, and he said that he did research, and Buffalo is one of the areas that has more pizzerias per capita than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I could. That's probably right, other than maybe Naples, but that's just because working at a pizzeria in Naples is like a teenager working at McDonald's. They have a pizzeria everywhere. It's like just working at McDonald's in Naples.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely believe that. I mean, how many places? I mean, I could.
It's insane.
It's insane. Off the top of my head, like how many places do we have in Lancaster? Picasso's, Ronnie's, Pizza Hut's. Like I could just go down the order and just count in Lancaster.
And you start with chains, and then you work your way down to just like the onesie twosies where they may have one location or two locations.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, I totally didn't even think about like the Pizza Hut or Pizza Plant or whatever the case may be.
So how has the community embraced this style pizza? Because this is not like any other pizzeria that we just said is more prevalent in the Buffalo area.
Right.
So how has like the local community or anything like that accepted this type of pizza?
Yeah, so we get a lot of young people that are interested in food, like food, won't mind paying a price for something that's going to be good.
Healthier.
Healthier, yeah, like sourcing ingredients, local people that make really awesome ingredients or produce or whatever the case may be. At first, it's still tough. It's still tough with being 4 years here. And I mean, even 6 years total with Jay on the food truck for the 2 years, it's still, people are still learning because we're the only place that does Neapolitan pizza we don't do it the traditional way, but we don't do it, we kind of put our own spin on it. So it's still tough. People don't realize that it's supposed to be meant to eat in the restaurant straight out of the oven. It's not great for takeout.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's still tough, but people are learning, and I mean, don't be afraid if you came in to ask questions, because we can answer them for you,
And you mentioned there's not a lot of employees here, so that kind of helps build a rapport with the community as well. So to give people a better idea, how many total people work here? So
we have me, we have Joe Pucciarelli, who I've been working with for about 2.5 years. He's actually going to be opening up his own place really soon. Well, I shouldn't say really soon, but within the year and a half, he's going to be opening up his own place. Then we have JP, who I've been working with here ever since I got back from Naples. I actually didn't meet him until I got back from Naples. And then we have Matt Ronca, who used to work at Teuton and Hotel Henry. So he's a really good mind to have around here. Like he has like great ideas of just like combinations to put together, and even I'm learning from him. And then we have Alexis, who works in the front of the house. I've been working with her for about probably a year and a half now. And then my sister that I just brought on because I needed a little extra help. So yeah, she's been here since November.
So you stated the guy that came from Hotel Henry.
Yep.
Is when you bring new people on, or with you having the Neopolitan training, is there stuff that shouldn't go on Neapolitan pizza and like people can maybe suggest it and you're like, whoa, this is a very big faux pas here. We don't do that here.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I don't mind, spreading my wings a little bit and doing something new on a Neapolitan pizza, but at a point it's like, that just does not go on like a Neapolitan pizza. I'd rather put that on like a square pizza and then we could, figure it out from there. But Neapolitan pizza is really like my thing. It's close to my heart, so I try not to mess around with it too much. Just do it, and I guess do it the best that I can.
So what's your best seller here? What do you tend to sell the most of?
We sell above and beyond anything else is the Margarita Pizza.
Do you think it's because people can pronounce that?
Probably. Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's another thing though. You're right. It's people around here. I'm not saying this as a snob at all, because I want to teach people and I want them to learn that, this is something healthy and sustainable for, the environment. So we would do the Nduja and Zucca. Zucca is just butternut squash,
Mike has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like stagionale is a seasonal. Stagionale, that means seasonal in Italian. People are like, I don't really know what that is. It's like, yeah, it's all right. Like, I didn't know what it was either at one point. Just teaching people, and that's really kind of like my main focus, because once people can learn, they'll put their guard down a little bit and then maybe try something a little bit new, I mean, there's a guy who comes in, Sergio, every single time, margarita, doesn't matter. He's from Sicily. It's a margarita pizza every time, but then you notice that someone would come in on a Wednesday that's new. You might not recognize them, and then they'll be back on a Friday, and then they'll come back on Saturday, and they're like, oh my God, like, what is this? Because it's not pizza. It's like the best thing I've ever had. I'm like, thank you. I'm very humbled by that, and I appreciate you coming back so fast, but that's how it kind of like works. Once you get someone hooked in, it's like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. And that's exactly how it hooked me in. It's like, okay, every time we go to New York, we're going to Don Antonio to have Neapolitan pizza because I love it, and that's kind of how it would work.
Yeah. So Margarita Pizza is your best seller. The Margarita Pizza, everybody knows it. You can buy a Margarita Pizza from Wegmans frozen if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But these other options, what are the staples of the Neapolitan pizza styles that people maybe don't know how to pronounce or haven't heard of before, but they can be intrigued by what you say right now?
Yeah, sure. So the Margarita Pizza and the Marinara. So in Naples, some pizzerias only do the Margarita and the Marinara. 2 pizzas, that's it. They do the Marinara for people who are vegan, and then they do the Margarita for people who want cheese.
Italians are very simple.
Yep. That's it. You go in, Margarita, Marinara, and it's funny because I know one pizzeria, they'll sell 50 to 1,000 pizzas a day. 50 to 1,000 pizzas a day, just doing Margarita and a Marinara.
Wow.
So what do you typically drink with these?
I mean, it could be wine, like a red wine. Not anything particular. You could drink it with a beer, like a Peroni, Moretti, 2 Italian beers, like pretty light, It's just very casual. Like, I'm not going to crack open a $100 bottle of wine to eat my margarita. Like, I'm going to have like a Peroni or maybe a simple red wine that, it's not everything that people might think it is. It's not stuffy at all. It's very casual. In fact, it's a margarita or marinara pizza in Naples might cost you $2.50.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you ever go, is there an opportunity for you to go back to Italy to learn more? Would you like to incorporate a different type of Italian pizza into this place, or are you just strictly Neapolitan?
Yeah, like, is there a 4-week course, or is it only a 2-week course?
So there's a couple different courses. I took the 2-week course. I think there's like a month course where after the 2 weeks, then you get what is called a stage, where you go and you work in a pizzeria in Naples that's associated to the association.
That doesn't sound sketchy at all.
No, yeah, it's a very reputable thing. Yeah, I mean, I went to a pizzeria in Naples. We got to do a day stage at one of them, and you just kind of just stand there and watch. I mean, this guy's been doing it for 50 years. It's like, I've been doing this for 2 months. Yeah. It's like, watch the master at work, because it really is like. They say it takes like 25 years to master Neapolitan pizza until you're like, they like don't care. It's like, oh, have you been doing this for 25 years? No? Okay, then you have no idea what you're doing. That's just how it is. And if you're a pizzaiolo, which is pizza maker in Italian, if you're one of them, like you have status in Italy and Naples. Like there's a couple guys who, like Gino Sorbillo, he's very well known. He has a place in New York, I think. I'm pretty sure he has a place in New York unless it closed. And then he has a couple different places in Naples. Ciro Salvo, which is, it's weird to say, he's like my favorite pizza maker. It's like weird, but he's cool. He's kind of doing like a new school style of Neapolitan pizza, but still doing traditional stuff because it's very like hardcore. And places.
They've been at it for how long?
Gino Sorbillo, I actually don't really know how long he's been doing it. I'd probably say 15 plus years. Ciro Salvo, another 15, 20 years. I mean, that's their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like a pizza maker, like that is your lifestyle.
So when you say new style, what does that mean compared to the traditional?
Just getting away from more of the traditional stuff. So like
Margarita Marinara?
Pretty much, yeah. So like Pizzeria da Michele is the pizzeria that sells like 50 to 100 or 50 to 1,000 pizzas a day. They do Margarita Marinara, that's it. Whereas Ciro Salvo and Gino Sorbillo, they have a menu. They have a pretty big menu of different things that you can get, with different Italian meats, different cheeses. Like they have one that'll be like, so the Margarita will cost $3.50. It's just fresh mozzarella, basil, and sauce. Then they might have what is called a Margarita Extra, which has buffalo mozzarella and fresh mozzarella on it, which might be $1 extra. So they're just kind of like doing, like, I guess, new school stuff, getting away from a little bit tradition.
Yeah. So with you being such a niche in the pizza community, who do you have locally to bounce ideas off of? Because you probably don't have a ton of help because there's not many Neapolitan pizzerias in the area.
No, you know what it is? It's just the people here.
Sure.
Jay, and then Instagram, because I could follow all these pizzerias in Naples, So it's like, okay, that's a good idea. Let's spin it a little bit, do it our way, Just, I guess, social media is a huge like influence on different pizzas. Like there is a pizza community on Instagram, and there's some pretty like well-known guys that, do this for a living.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I could just go down the list of different guys and what they do and what kind of pizza they make and just stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And even if I had a question about a dough recipe or I need my pizza to get more crispy or whatever the case may be, there's people who, if you just slide in their DMs like, hey, I'm looking for this, they could point you in the right direction. But I have Jay, which is he's like a mastermind in pizza. Like it's insane. Like he knows exactly what to do. Like if you're looking for a Detroit style square, this is your recipe. If you're looking for a Neapolitan pizza, this is what you should do. Sure. He's just
Does he still work here, or you're just in contact with him still?
Just in contact with him still. Like I saw him this morning. Yeah, it's not like we don't like hate each other or anything like that. No, I've been working by his side for 4 years, pretty much just like being that sponge. And then now it's just time for me to, unleash it pretty much.
That's amazing.
I've been seeing in the area though, and maybe this is just a supply and demand thing, but people are gravitating more towards thinner crust, like a less buffalo style pizza. And I don't know if it's just because I follow all these places because that's what I enjoy, but like Hydraulic Hearth and Hearth and Press and these different pizzerias, they seem to be doing very well, and maybe it's a supply and demand thing, but I think that people are gravitating more towards this style of pizza lately.
I think so too. I think people are starting to care more about what they're putting in their bodies.
Sure, 100% point.
So I don't think I've ever had Hydraulic Hearth, but I think it's just people are paying more attention to what they put in their body.
Theirs is more of a thin crust, like maybe kind of more like a flatbread type thing. It's definitely more crunchier.
Right.
And this is a completely different animal.
Right.
But if I were to compare, like that's much closer to that than it is to like any other pizzeria in Buffalo, because I mean we talked about Picasso's.
Yeah,
it's just
like Neapolitan pizza's here, Picasso's, St. Buffalo style is here. It's completely two different sides of the spectrum. But even I think also people will pay for quality. So you look at our prices and you might see, like the fungi is $18. It's like, okay, but we're using Flat 12 Mushrooms. He's local. His name's Robbie. He has a storefront on Chandler. where they're developing the new area.
Yep.
Like, we want to support people who are doing really great things locally and also that have really great products. So it's like, yeah, it's going to be $18. You're going to pay for quality. We're supporting a local business. Just things like that sometimes people don't keep in mind. It's hard to run a restaurant, but you also want to support your local background too,
So with these pizzas up here, does it feed one, or is this a two price, or what is?
Right. So Neapolitan pizza, for me, is meant to eat one per person. Mm-hmm. So when people say, I got to feed 6 people, get 6 pizzas, because it's made to be eaten. Like, one person should be able to eat the 12-inch pizza. Sure. It's very light, very, I say, easily digestible. It's just very, what's the word? It's very soft on your digestive. Yeah, it's clean. Like, you're eating something fresh. That's what Neapolitan pizza's meant to be, very fresh.
And I think a lot of that, too, is a lot of people, especially around our age group, is they're getting out. Like, they're going west, they're going east, they're getting outside of the Buffalo bubble or the American bubble, and they're realizing, oh, so, like, there is a lot of stuff in our food.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of preservatives. So when you literally buy a house and then you're growing vegetables in your front lawn, and that's your lifestyle, you'll realize a pear doesn't always look like a pear does in Wegmans. A tomato doesn't look like that normally. Neither does an apple. Like, there should be... Why is it so shiny? Like, that's not real life.
Yeah, that's the thing that I love about Italian cooking. It's from the heart, very seasonal. It's what you have in your backyard or what you have locally. You're not going to, California to get a lemon during the winter in Buffalo. It's like, why is there lemons on this pizza? And I always have this fight with my mom. She wants arugula pizza. Ma, the arugula is not in season, so I'm not going to use it. Like, there's someone who we get their arugula from when it's in season, and it's amazing. So I'm just going to wait till it's in season, and then I'll use it, and we'll run it for that season. That's just how it is. And I kind of got switched when me and Jay and all of us would talk about seasonality and stuff like that. And at first I was like, yeah, let's just put on a pizza. But it's like, okay, now I understand. It's like, I don't want to get a lemon from California. If I could, get something seasonally here and support someone that's local.
I don't even know arugula had a season, so.
Everything has a season, which is like the motto "seed to feed" is so big because that's literally what it is.
Right.
I don't know, $18 for a 12-inch pizza that is authentic. Like, why? That's almost a no-brainer, especially when you're literally importing ingredients from around the world to make sure that you're getting the best for your customers and community. Like, you're not only creating a culture, but you're creating a circle of life where you're helping out the guys down the road.
Right.
Why would you even question that?
Yeah, and to go back to what you said about how people are leaving either the American bubble, the Buffalo bubble, and they're going other places. We get a lot of people who move from New York and then come to the pizzeria, and they're like, oh my God, like, I used to go to this place in Brooklyn or in Manhattan, and it just reminds me of New York. That's just how it is. And people go and then they come back and then they hear about us and then they come and try it, and then they could form their opinion. It's not going to be for everybody, and I understand that. If someone doesn't like it, that's completely fine.
Sure.
Like, not everybody's going to like it. I'm not going to take offense to it or anything like that. It's just not going to be for everybody.
So what are your goals here with, like, setting a 5-year goal or some target down the line? What would be next for Jay's Artisan Pizza?
That's funny that you say that, because, like, my dad is always hounding me. Like, what do you want to, like, what is the...
Absolutely.
In 5 years, what is your plan with this? It's like, I am literally coming here every day just, like, thinking about that day. Like, I'm not thinking about 5 years, tonight or tomorrow. It's like, all right, when we're done here, I'm going to go make the dough, and then I'll come in and we'll do service tomorrow night, and then I'll think about Thursday, and I'll think about Friday, and then Saturday. I don't really think about a 5-year plan, but I would like to... There's a Neapolitan restaurant in New York that I would love to copy and paste and bring to Buffalo pretty much. There's just the way the restaurant is laid out and everything like that. I think it's very unique, something that people in Buffalo have never seen, with being just like Neapolitan pizza. I guess that's the 2 to 3 year goal. I would say maybe even less.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Is this like... this building, this setup, this size, this amount of stuff. I mean, you said that there's a pizzeria that's pumping out 1,000 a day, but how does this compare to what you see in Italy?
It's just a lot different. I mean, Buffalo, New York is a lot different than Naples, Italy.
100%.
Naples gets a very bad rap of being like dirty and just like not friendly to foreigners, specifically Americans, and just stuff like that. But if you could go there with an open mind and embrace the city, I fell into this hole too. I got there the first day. I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to last the 14 days. Like, I don't like Naples. And then once I met everybody from the school, like we start walking down into the city, you know, having some pizzas, you know, talking to each other, just appreciating what Naples is. That kind of switched my mind, I guess, with that.
So what turned you off at first? Just the people?
The people were actually very nice, but
cool.
it was just like, it was just the way.
It's a culture shock.
It was a culture shock. I've been to Italy multiple times before that, but it's different than the north. Like southern Italy is very different than the north.
Absolutely.
I thought it was dirty, just like unwelcoming. It's like you think of Italy as this beautiful place, like great landscape, and it does have that in its own right. And I guess getting back to your question, pizzerias in Naples don't look like this. They're very small. Like the tables are on top of each other.
Sure.
Like me and you are eating, and then there's a couple right next to us that are eating. It's very fast. Like, you know, you're in and you're out, and the restaurants are just small, very compact, and they have a huge oven that could pump out 1,000 pizzas a day.
Sure. So, also want to point out too, you can't come here and get a slice. This is you come here and you get a pie.
Yep, you come here. No matter if you're getting a square, which is 8 by 10, we cut it into 4 slices. Neapolitan pizza is 12-inch. No, there's no slices. Yeah.
And how long do those normally take?
So Detroit style pizza takes about 12 to 15 minutes. It's like almost like your traditional Buffalo style. If you would be cooking it. Neapolitan pizza takes 90 seconds. Not even. I'd probably say like 60 a minute. It's very fast.
Cool.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I mean, when that oven like gets going, like you could like really go. Especially with Neapolitan pizza, you could make a 3-man line or a 2-man line. So there's one person who strictly stretches the pizza and then passes it over to the guy who's in the middle who makes them all, and then there's a guy who puts them on the peel and then puts them in the oven and cooks them. So if you have those 3 guys, I mean, and you had a big oven, you could really, really, really crank pizzas, like that's a lot. Awesome. You could do. What could we do now? I don't know.
Like, what is a normal
65
day for you
an hour.
65 an hour. Wow.
I mean, yeah, if you're like going really fast. A normal day would probably be like 150 total pizzas.
Okay.
And that's just like, okay, that was like easy. That's between both sides. So like we might sell 100 Neapolitan pizzas, 50 squares, or whatever the case may be. We don't make 400 dough balls for a night. Like for tomorrow on a Wednesday, I know that we might not be that busy. I'm gonna make 110 Neapolitan dough balls, and then I'll make 55 to 60 squares. And when we sell out, we sell out.
Until the Buffalo Happy Hour shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Sell you out in an hour.
Yeah. So I don't know if we could sell that many pizzas an hour, but we could try.
I mean, I'll eat that many pizzas.
I mean,
in
you
an
could
hour,
sell them. It's just how long is it going to take before they're made and consumed?
Right.
Pizza challenge, you down?
I'm totally down. Let's do it, dude. Neapolitan pizzas. I feel like I could crush like 4 of them.
You definitely could. Like, if you're like hungry, you might be able to crush like 2 or 3, depending on how hungry you are.
I'm pretty hungry all the time.
Yeah.
So what are your hours of operation? What days are you normally open and what times?
So we're open from Wednesday to Saturday from 4 till 8.
Nice.
Each day.
Yep.
We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. I just don't want to work 7 days a week. It's just a big misconception that you have to like work to live. Like, and I also want our employees, the guys that I've been working with I see them more than my family, because I get here at like 10 a.m. and I don't leave till about 9:30, 10 at night. So it's like I'm with these guys for 7 or 8 hours a day. Like I spend the most time with them. I want them to have a life outside of here. I don't want them coming in at 11 a.m. and leaving the time I do, you know. Go out and have a life and enjoy your off time. But then when we come here, we regroup after the weekend, and then we just go full force into the week. Because if we're going 4 days, we got to sell a lot of pizzas.
Yeah. So do you, like, during your lunch, get and eat a pizza?
Lunch,
I feel like I would get sick of it.
There's, like, no, like, lunch break. It's just, like... So I'll ball the dough in the morning at, like, 10, and then that might take me an hour. And then, if I get an email where I'm updating the items list, updating the menu, I might be able to sit down for, like, maybe 20 minutes and eat whatever I brought. And then it's just, like, back, like, into it. And then, yeah.
So what is one thing that when you took this over, you didn't think of, or it took you by surprise?
It took me by surprise.
Because you're probably our newest business owner that we've had on here.
Yeah. It took me by surprise, or
Customs?
Like getting the stuff in the country, you're saying? Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't have to worry about that. That's all Idolo. I'd just be like, Idolo, I need Fontal. I need a new cheese or something. He's like, okay, I got that. I don't really think. I mean, before we took over, the only thing I wasn't doing was like the payroll and then paying bills.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, we would make the order, like me and Joe would make the order list together. There's not really anything that I didn't do that
sure
I had to like take over other than payroll and just like administrative stuff. So I guess nothing really took me by surprise. Yeah. I mean,
that comes from Jay.
Definitely,
He's teaching you the right things.
Right, definitely.
What was this place before it was Jay's?
This was, what bakery was it? Krishiki? I hope I'm not just like, destroying that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what it was before we moved in here.
Cool. So everything was kind of set up already for some sort of appliances. It wasn't like it was a nail salon and you had to convert everything.
No, there was a slop sink in the back. Jay just had to bring in his own equipment.
Yeah.
And it's funny to see, like, look back there. If you scroll down on the Jay's Artisan Instagram and you saw what it was like before, it's like, it's crazy what we have now than what we started with. It's like, we were making Detroit, I mean, I don't know if I should really say this, but we were making Detroit style square pizzas out of a home oven in the back that Krishiki Bakery left for us. Like, that's how we started doing it. And then we gradually got bigger and newer ovens. It's like funny when I look back there and you just see all the stuff that we now have that we didn't have.
Hey, if it worked back then, man, who cares?
No, I know. It's just funny. We would do a couple a night, and we would make them in a home oven, and it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just cool and like fun to see like how far we've come.
Absolutely.
Since then.
Do you have a pizza oven at your home? I feel like if anybody would, you would.
Yeah, we do actually. It's just like a small one. It's propane.
Yeah.
You could do anything in it, really. But it is a pizza oven. It looks like a pizza oven. It's like a smaller version of that one. It could do wood or it could do propane.
It's those outdoor ones?
Yeah, it's one of the outdoor ones.
Yeah, those things are sweet.
What's it called? I can't remember what it's called.
That's a recent fad. There's been a bunch of people that I know that have picked them up last year, and they're like, this is it, this is what we're doing, we're gonna make pizzas, and the first one's trash.
Yeah.
And then by like the fifth pizza, they're like, I think I'm onto something. I'm like, trust me, it's still trash. Like,
no, I love when people send me pictures on DM, like, hey, like I just tried this out, or if people ask me questions, how do I, make this? Like, don't be afraid to ask any questions. Like, if you want to learn how to do it, ask me anything. It's like, it's fine, but there's also a fine line between making one good pizza at home and making 150 good pizzas.
Sure.
It's definitely tough to keep the consistency, because that's how Neopolitan pizza is fast and all of that, but it's very technical, the way that it's made and everything like that.
Yeah, so you say that it gets up to 900 degrees in there.
Yep.
Normal ovens, I think, can get up to 500. So there's
550, 600.
There's no possible way to make a Neapolitan pizza in my oven at home with like a. Do they have like a pizza board or anything like that?
They have like pizza stones, but it's just not going to get hot enough.
Yeah.
Because people ask us like, oh, do you half bake them? It's like, no, just because your home oven, unless you have a Stefano Ferraro in your backyard, you're not going to be able to, cook it to make it for what it is.
That would be hysterical. Like, dude, you got to come check this out. And you walk in their backyard and you're like, how did that even get there?
It would be pretty cool though, I mean,
the customer's actually like, yeah, I do. And he's like, well.
I'd be like, all right, then like go ahead.
Here's your timing.
If people ask us if they have like an uni as a at-home oven, if people have those, they ask us, can I buy a dough ball? We usually just give it to them, It's like, yeah, go ahead, try it yourself.
You'll be back.
You'll learn.
You'll be back.
Yeah, and
You'll be back paying for a pizza.
You might get either that, or you might come back and you might be hooked on making pizza, kind of like how I got. But
Right.
I got lucky. I don't know. It was hard work, but it was also just like
It's fun.
It was luck. It was fun. I don't know. It's hard to explain because there's people who are like coming in like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, well, guys, we're like 22 years old. Like, you don't have to know what you're gonna do right now. Yeah, it's fine not to know what you're gonna be doing. And they're like, but like, how did it happen for you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess how I explain it is, there's a concert at Darien Lake on a Saturday night or a Friday night that I really want to go to, and this was before Jay left, that I really wanted to go to. It was a Friday or Saturday night, and I know all my friends are going, and it's like, you know, do I take off and leave the guys hanging on a Friday or Saturday night when I know that they're going to get slammed? Mm-hmm. And do I take off and go have fun and, you know, whatever with my friends, or am I just going to come to the restaurant and, you know, buckle down and learn something? And that's just what I chose. It's not everybody's going to choose that, and I'm not going to shame you if you choose to go to that concert. It's just fine, but I don't know. You got to sacrifice to gain something.
Absolutely.
And I sacrificed to gain something here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
this is a sweet place. We need to come back real soon to try some pizza.
Look, I'm not worried, Derek.
Yeah,
we will.
So you want to plug your Instagram and everything for the place?
Yeah, so it's at Jay's Artisan on Instagram.
He's like, it's literally no big deal.
Yeah, at Jay's Artisan on Instagram. If you have any questions, just, you know, slide in DMs and ask us anything.
How do people order? Do you have online?
Yep. So you could go to our website, jaysartisan.com. There's a button that you hit, order online, and then you can do that.
Or just walk in and have a good time.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very low key here. Like, we're not stuffy. It's fun. Like, we try to make it as fun as possible.
Right.
You know. Yeah, and
as authentic as possible too.
Yeah, definitely. Try to stay to tradition, but also throw a little bit of our own thoughts into it, I guess, too.
Mm-hmm. Cool. It makes me happy.
Well, thanks, man. Thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everybody go check out Jay's Artisan Pizza. What's the address again?
It's 2872 Delaware Ave, right across from Eat Right Foods, where Delaware Ave and Delaware Road split.
Perfect.
Yep.
And please try something other than a marinara and a margarita pizza. There's so many options up there, and everything looks very good.
I don't want to contradict what you said, but if it is your first time here, I would try the margarita pizza.
Okay.
Because that's a good baseline, and then you can move on to something else. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
No, you're good. I love margarita pizza. Margarita pizza is my favorite. That fresh basil, right?
Yep, basil, mozzarella, sauce, a little oil, a little sea salt. That's it.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me on.